Hi everyone, so we're going to be doing another example on objects, but we're going to add something else into the object. We're going to add a function inside an object and see how this actually works. So let's pretend we want to set up a person. So var person, and this person contains a bunch of different key value pairs, and then we're going to generate some functions for this person so then we can call it directly. So let's say we have first name, and the person's name will be Ken. And what we can do is just to line it up nicely, and then we'll put last name. And then I'll add an ID. And now I'll add the function. So what we can do is we can just call it whatever variable or key that we want it to be. So I'll say we want to make something called a full name. So then we add the first and last name together within this one specific function. And we're going to say that this is the function. And within this function, what we're going to do is we're going to do something with the variables, with the key value pairs we have up above. And we want to return this dot first name plus a space, so we can add the two names together but still have the space in between the two words, and then this dot last name. And now this full name keyword right here is just going to combine the first and last name together based on this one function here that we have set up within the object. And we can just add a comma afterwards, and we can add another function, let's say work. And we'll say this is another function. And inside this function, we want to return this. Let's say we want to return my name is this dot first name plus, and my ID number is this dot ID. And what we have here, I'll make this lowercase, so we have camel casing, but we have whatever work, let's just say work. And then here's the function, and I could line this up however I'd like to, so then it's a little bit neater. If I want to do something like this, it's up to you. But what we have here is we have this object here of person, and in this person we have key value pairs here, but we also have two functions. This first function, which just creates a full name, and then this other function called work. It's something work related, and it's just saying my name is Ken and my ID number is 12345. So now we can actually call these variables, call this information. So let's say we want to console.log person.firstname. So we are calling the object first, which is person, and then we just want to call their first name to see what that displays. Then let's say we want to console.log person, and we want to call, let's say, the first function, which is full name. In order to do this, we have to denote it as a function, so we could say dot full name, and then in those parentheses like that, and then that's saying call this function called full name, so we can display what it's going to return. And then let's also console log out person dot work, so then we can call the information from the work function. And now we have all these console logs set up. Let's actually try running it here in the terminal. So I'm just going to open this up just a little bit more here, and I'll just run this in the terminal here, and it's example 5. So node example5.js. And what we can see here is the first console log displays the first name, which is Ken. And then when we called full name function here, which is what we have here. We're calling the full name. It's going to display the first and last name together, which is Ken Fred, which is what we see in the terminal. And then the next one is work. We want to display this function here with this sentence, and it says, my name is Ken and my ID number is 12345. So this is how we call the actual function for work. So you can see how it's different from just calling a regular key. When you call a regular key, it's just whatever it's called without those parentheses, extra parentheses at the end. But when we call a function, it's not just the basket or like the object name and not just the actual key name. We have to have these extra parentheses at the end of whatever function we are calling, because remember, whenever we call a function, it's always formatted this way. And you can see here in Visual Studio Code, it even color codes it for us, so it looks different in our actual code. And we know that this full name and work is something that we have set up on our own in order for us to call it, because we have set up certain functions to perform a certain action. And you can find this code right here on GitHub if you want to reference it some more.